12 emotions you might feel but can't explain. Have you ever felt a certain way, but you just couldn't explain exactly what you were feeling? Of course you have, and probably many times. Human emotion is an extremely complex thing, and happy, or sad, or mad just don't do it justice. But don't worry, even the most complicated and indescribable emotions have not only names, but also deep psychological meaning behind them. Are you ready to put words to your most unexplainable feelings? Then keep on watching. But before you get even more in touch with your emotions, take this moment to subscribe to our channel. We upload new and informative videos like this one every single day, so be sure to turn on post notifications too. That way, you'll always stay up to date on the bright side of life. Now, you won't find any of the following words in a dictionary. Well, actually you can, but only in one, the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows. This is an entirely online dictionary created by writer John Koenig. In it, he describes and gives names to an array of human emotions that we don't yet put to words. It's quite practically written, so you should definitely check it out. You can find a link to the official site in the description box below. As for today's video, we've chosen our 12 favorites. From this point on, the dictionary will refer to Koenig's dictionary specifically. Enjoy! Number 12. Sonder. Have you ever been walking down the street or sitting in a cafe and realized all the people around you have their own complex and colorful life story just like you do? Koenig calls this Sonder. This is one of those feelings that catches you off guard. You're just sitting about your business when you suddenly understand that every anonymous person around you has their own goals, fears, and routine that you'll never know. Sometimes it can get you down for some reason, but don't worry. Experiencing Sonder is actually really good for you. It broadens your horizons and shows you that there are millions of different perspectives out there. It means you understand and respect that everybody is an individual, and not everything is about you. Number 11. Hanker sore. This one is actually pretty funny, and you'll quickly understand that all of us have had this feeling before. To put it short, hanker sore is when you find someone so attractive that it even kinda makes you mad. And nobody is even sure why they feel this way about a good-looking person. Perhaps deep down you want to be as attractive as them, or maybe you assume that their beauty means they've had it easier in life than you have. But most of the time, the person feeling hanker sore can't even explain it themselves. Number 10. Lachesism. The thing about human emotion is that it goes from extremely light to frighteningly dark. At first glance, a lot of emotions can seem disturbing and even destructive. In some sense, you can add Lachesism to this category too. According to the dictionary, Lachesism is the desire to be struck by a disaster, whether it's surviving a plane crash or losing everything in life. The actual term comes from the Greek word laxis, which means the disposer of lots. When we feel it, it comes from an urge to prove to ourselves that we're strong and resilient enough to survive any dangerous situation. And it's no wonder this feeling develops in us, since there are so many stories in the media, movies, and books about people overcoming challenges. With all this around, you might ask yourself, would I act this bravely in a similar situation? So don't worry. Lachesism doesn't mean you actually want to go through horrific experiences, it's simply your desire to test your abilities. Number 9. Ellipsism. No matter how much we want it, nobody can live forever. But don't you want to see how everything will turn out in the future? What's our planet gonna look like in 100 or 1,000 years? If you're inquisitive like that, then ellipsism is definitely one of the most common feelings in your emotional range. Among those who are most prone to this emotion are scientists, researchers, artists, and anyone who looks at the world around them with great curiosity. Unfortunately, this feeling is almost impossible to fight, so it's probably better to just let yourself feel ellipsism to the fullest. Sure, it is pretty sad, but thankfully it never sticks around for too long. Number 8. Mauerbauertraurigkeit. This impossible-to-pronounce word describes the desire to push people away, even your loved ones. It seems so unreasonable, right? I mean, who would want to drive away from people they love and who love them? Where does this feeling come from? Psychologists have a simple answer to that question: fear. It's no secret that low self-esteem often causes us to feel like we're not good enough. Well, this paves the way for an urge to keep others from seeing our imperfections up close. As a result, we decide not to show them anything at all because it seems easier. However, with Mauerbauertraurigkeit, the earlier you find the root of the problem, the better. Don't limit yourself because of your insecurities. Accept them as your unique characteristics and work on being proud of who you are. Number 7. Gnossienne. We think that we know everything about the people we see each day. Whether it's your family members, a spouse, or your best friend you've known since you were both in diapers, you feel confident that you know your close ones better than you know yourself. That is, until Gnossienne one day takes hold of your brain and you suddenly realize that your loved ones have an inner world that you know absolutely nothing about and will never have access to. Fears, worries, desires, secrets, they're completely closed off to you. And your status as their best friend or significant other doesn't give you VIP access to their inner world. It can make you feel a bit cheated and insecure around the people that are supposed to make you feel safest. But, like Sonder, it's part of understanding that we're all individuals with our own unique complexities. Number 6. Liberosis. If you tend to worry a lot, and the thought of losing control of your life scares the heebie-jeebies out of you, then you've probably experienced liberosis at least every now and again. The dictionary defines it as the desire to care less about things, to loosen your grip on life, to stop glancing behind your every step and rather hold your life loosely and playfully. But isn't that something pretty much all of us want? To stop stressing and just start living? If you notice that you feel liberosis pretty often, just ask yourself, what stresses me out the most? Is it really all that bad? Allow yourself to let loose a little. Sometimes going with the flow is the best thing you can do. Number 5. Monachopsis. If you often feel like you never really belong somewhere, then that would be monachopsis. Koenig's dictionary describes it as the subtle but persistent feeling of being out of place. You're lucky if you've never experienced it, but most of us definitely can't say the same. What's worse, it usually doesn't have any valid reasoning behind it. You can logically understand that everything's fine and everybody in the group likes you, but you just can't stop feeling that you don't belong. When this happens, make sure to analyze it. What's the main reason you feel this way? What triggers it? If it happens often, try to talk it out with your pals. Don't just brush it off. Sometimes your subconscious can give you really important clues. Number 4. Onism. Onism is especially common among travelers and adventurers. It's basically an understanding of how little of the world you actually experience. The world is so big and full of countless beautiful places that it can be overwhelming when you start to think about it. But, unfortunately, just like the dictionary puts it, we're all stuck in just one body that inhabits only one place at a time. And who knows whether or not we'll see all the places we dream of seeing. Perhaps Onism detects your deep desire to travel more often. So, why not book a ticket to some place you've always wanted to visit? After all, it's a big world out there, and it's got so much to offer. Number 3. Nighthawk. The dictionary describes Nighthawk as a recurring thought that only seems to strike you late at night. You ever have trouble falling asleep because you're thinking about an overdue task or feeling guilty about something you did? If you want to get rid of your Nighthawk, just resolve the issue that's causing it. If it's a late task, then get it done. If it's guilt for your actions, then work on accepting it and forgiving yourself, or apologize to the person who was most affected by it. If it's a thought of doing something you're scared of, it means it's time to do it. Nighthawk is the easiest way to figure out what unfinished business is bothering your subconscious. Make use of it. Number 2. Catoptric tristesse. Don't let the beautiful sounding name fool you. This feeling is really dismal. The dictionary defines it as the sadness that you'll never really know what other people think of you, whether good, bad, or if at all. But seriously, wouldn't you want to know how others actually perceive you? Or do you want to believe that ignorance is bliss? Tell us in the comments. Anyway, this feeling couldn't be more human. I mean, we're social creatures, and the desire to fit in and be liked and accepted is in our DNA. Unfortunately, it's simply impossible to know what others are thinking. The only clue we can get is in their actions. After all, they speak louder than words. Number 1. Jouska. Have you ever had full-on imaginary conversations with someone in your head? Then congratulations! You're definitely familiar with Jouska. Koenig's dictionary calls Jouska a hypothetical conversation that you compulsively play out in your head. It could be an ideal comeback that you didn't think of in the moment, story of most of our lives, right? A deep conversation, or just a dialogue you wish you had with somebody in the past or future. This, of course, comes from your desire to have your own perfect closure that you never really had in reality. Just don't play along with it for too long. The past is the past. Fantasies aren't real, and you shouldn't allow your thoughts to keep you from living in the here and now. Which of these emotions have you experienced the most? Or maybe there's one you'd really like to feel. Tell us in the comments section below. If this video helped you understand your feelings better, make sure to give it a like and share it with your friends and family so that they'll find out more about themselves too. And if you want more bright side in your life, just click subscribe and join us. Until next time.